Terry's going to talk about the other side of the world of launching ideas.
Well, I do it very, very different. And I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me. I feel like this is maybe this could possibly be a home for me somehow. But I'm just in awe of the products that I've seen at down in Pasadena when Mateo brought me down. He brought me down, and he heard that my specialty is licensing. And he said, "See, come on down and share this knowledge with some of the students." So when I went down there for the first time, I walked into your gallery, I guess it was for the semester, and I walked in there and I had a couple minutes to kill, and I looked at all these remarkable ideas, and I was just taken back. In fact, I didn't want to leave. And when Mateo finally, yeah, let's turn that off. So when Mateo finally said, where's Steve? He found me there, and I said, what's everybody doing with these great ideas? He said, well, nothing, they're projects. And I said, well, why don't they try to license these ideas? Because that's basically what I do. I rent ideas to companies. And I thought that it was something that a lot of people would do and could do, and it was really easy to do. So what I've been doing for the last 25 years is that I come up with an idea, and I call a company up, and if they like it, they license it from me, basically rent it from me, they take it to market, they do all the work, and they pay me a royalty on every one they sell. Now, how can I do that? And why can I possibly think that I could ever do that? Because when I first started out, I was at Santa Clara University in the business department, and I was an econ major. My dad thought that was a good place for me to be. And I found that I really didn't like business at all. So I took an art class just by chance, and I fell in love with working with my hands. And I remember I went home and I told my father, I said, look, I want to be an artist. And he said, Steve, do you draw? And I said, well, no. And he said, well, you must paint. And I said, no. And he gave me the greatest gift. He said, follow your passion and you'll be successful. So I went over to San Jose State and enrolled in the art department. And from Santa Clara to San Jose State was a big change. Santa Clara was 4,000 total school. They had 4,000 just in the art department at San Jose State. And so I landed there, and there were a bunch of artists. And I thought, well, what am I doing with this group? And I really like this group. And I belong here, but I just don't have the skills. So I lasted a couple of years, and I got a little antsy, and I said, I'm just going to go out and just start selling stuff. And I remember I just started making things out of fabric, because fabric was easy to do. And you had a sewing machine, right? You can do it, and you can make it, and you can bring it out, and you can sell it. So for 7 years, I made things, and I took them out at county fairs, state fairs, wherever I could set up a table. And I learned some really important lessons. You see, I had to feed myself and pay the rent. And if it didn't sell on a Saturday, I didn't make it. So I learned really quickly to design products that people want. And everybody at that time thought I was really kind of the biggest loser on the planet. I'm 27 years old, I've never had a job, and I'm selling stuff at street corners. This is terrible, right? And my friends are buying houses and cars and getting married. But I thought that I was doing something truly remarkable. That I could come up with an idea, I could make it, and I could sell it. I did the whole process, and I thought it was wonderful. I got to meet some fantastic people. And what led to my first job at 27 years old, I took a job at Worlds of Wonder. I don't know if you remember Teddy Ruxpin, the laser tag. And there was 10 people. I went down there, I saw an article in the paper of this ugly teddy bear, and I went in there and called them, and I talked my way into getting the job at head of design at Worlds of Wonder. Which I really didn't have a design background, but I kind of convinced them that I could figure it out. And they shipped me over to Hong Kong to set up manufacturing for them. Perfect fit for me. I've barely been out of Santa Clara County. Didn't have a driver's license. Didn't matter. I was over there, and I learned a lot about manufacturing. The most important thing I learned is that, look, if you come up with a great idea, if you can't make it, it's not worth anything, right? I mean, I love ideas, but ideas, if you really want to be, turn it around and be commercial and actually make a living, you got to get it off that production line, right? And I feel your pain a little bit because you really love your ideas so much. At the end of the day, he's got some issues, right? Because you know, he's doing it all himself, he loves it, but how do you grow from that? It's really custom, it's just so custom. So, and he's figuring that out, how to grow, how to still keep his quality. So, what I've been doing after Worlds of Wonder, I moved to this, the creative capital of the world, Modesto, California. And I was very fortunate. I met someone at Worlds of Wonder. It was the smartest woman I've ever met. She had this red dress on. She was running the company. She got her undergraduate degree at Stanford and got her Northwestern MBA. She was the smartest person I've ever met. And I thought, wow, I want to come up with ideas. She's going to do the marketing. That's a perfect fit. So we went to Modesto, and she took a job at Gallo Winery. She became vice president of marketing at Gallo Winery, the highest ranking woman in the history of the company. So I'm thinking this is going to really work out well. I'm going to come up with ideas. She's going to pay the rent, and this is where they'll find. So I started submitting ideas to companies, and I want to share a couple of my ideas. I'm not a clever guy. I'm not even that really creative, but I can see opportunities. And what I do, I just go down to the store and I look for opportunities. And when I think of how, you know, the skills that you bring, I mean, this is what you do. And I'm just doing it as a consumer. I just go down there and I look at the marketplace and I go, you know, I can do better than that. And I go back home and I start playing with it. And if I come up with something unique, then I show it to the company. So I'm always looking for holes that they've missed. Because trust me, when you use big companies, they're too busy putting out fires all the time. And I want to share one of my ideas here. I had read where there was never enough information on labels. And I had this really cool cup that I licensed in Disney stores and theme parks sold around the world. It was hard plastic, you could spin it and give you more information. So I read this article how there was never enough information on labels, so I came up with this concept of putting two labels on, and you can spin it. And this particular product is called AccuDial. When you spin the label, you can dial in the correct dosing of your child by the weight, not by the age. And that's a very huge, huge issue, right? Because a child can be 50 pounds difference. So it's really just two labels and one spins. Really simple when pass it around. This won Product of the Year in Canada. I won an Edison Award this year in New York, along with Apple, Nike, Ford, and StephenKay Design, with a very simple concept. In fact, the concept I don't even own. I have 13 patents on this idea. It's not even a new idea, it was done 40 years ago, but I still collect royalties. In fact, on this technology here, my company was just purchased, StephenKay Design, was just purchased last month. A pharmaceutical company bought my patent portfolio of an idea I don't even own. So, I'll pass this around. Looks like it's kind of falling apart. The same technology, you can see here, if you spin the label, it does some really fun things. Some animation. Now, when I went down and started looking at all the round containers, my mind just went like, you gotta be kidding me, this is gonna be really fun. I can put rotating labels on everything from spices to drinks. We ended up selling 400 million spin labels. I call it spinformation.